Hi you guys, this is Rachel Kirkland here, the Modern Shaman. I am going to say, first of all, I hope you can hear me. I'm using a lapel mic today. Hello, hello. Because Blake, if you are out there, your mom, I was talking to your mom, she was taking one of my workshops last weekend, and she said, my son Blake listens to your videos, but he swears even when he turns you up all the way, that volume all the way, he can't hear you very well. So Blake, I got the lapel mic on for you, Daddy-O. This is for you. So welcome if you're new to the Modern Shaman videos and my YouTube channel. If you have a question for the YouTube channel, please feel free to send it in. I would love to answer your questions. You send those in through my website, which is just themodernshaman.net. So the question says, Rachel, I love your videos. Awesome. That makes me happy. Like genuinely. When you guys say that kind of stuff and say this channel helps me, or there are real people behind this, and it really makes me feel joy, like gratitude, like yes, good. I'm so glad there's a sense of connection and purpose. So thank you for saying that. It does hit me, and I deeply appreciate your words. Okay. All that being said, I am an empath and find that the swings in energy lately have been crazy. Do you have any advice for those of us who feel the energy so intensely? Steps, types of meditation, anything that could seem to help when we are getting influx of energy and the big swings. One day I am happy, the next I feel like crying. Let me just say, you're not alone in your experience of these energy swings. Recently, there's been, even with the Schumann resonance, which is that heartbeat, the core electromagnetic frequency of the earth, on a very scientific level, it's been off the charts, and that's a measurable frequency that's measured from a satellite in space. The electromagnetic pulse of the earth has been upping and upping and upping. And we've been feeling this bringing everything to the forefront of our experience. And when I say everything, I don't just mean relationships, but I mean the energy of everything has been very intense. That's a word that people keep using, and it keeps coming up because it's true. The intensity, it's like literally like the photons of light, or the sense of just the molecular structure of our being. Everything is vibrating so much faster, which is bringing everything up that is hidden. It is bringing a lot of things to expression that were in the subconscious layers. It's just bringing up a lot of stuff, okay? And it's making our feeling experience in the emotional layers of our auric field that much stronger. And so, like you shared, one day you feel happy, and just almost in this blissful elation space. But it's very real, very true, very tangible. And yet then the next day you feel completely vulnerable and like, I'm the worst person in the world, and you go into this dark space. Oops, I gotta be careful not to hit that fancy mic on my lapel. And you go into this other energy. And so these experiences feel very extreme. There is a planetary experience right now that's going on within the collective of purging all of those subconscious layers, purging all of the sense of density that's within our cells, that's on a physical level as well. There's a lot of physical clearing, just crap coming out of the body. And I mean on a very physical level, like peeing and pooping more. Processing this stuff in a very physical sense. The body even detoxing, more headaches, more pressure, a lot of the physical sides of the energy having to process through a physical form, a carbon-based body system. It's coming out. So just be aware of that sense of the joy of our ascending energy. This is what happens when our earth itself is ascending, is growing in her own vibration. She is a being and a consciousness in her own sense of self. And so us living on a living being experiences that same core up-leveling in our frequency. So let's talk about the help me, Rachel. Okay, let's go into let's go into like, how do I survive all of these swings? So the first things that I will say in terms of tips or like stuff to help is pretty basic, but it's just good to remember. The basics of getting more sleep. Sleep, that like nothing else helps to recalibrate our system in a human body, helps to recalibrate the energy. So as much as possible, if you feel like you're going through these intense energy swings, give yourself more time to sleep and process the energy of it. When you feel like you're going through spiritual epiphanies, when you're clearing, when you have a sense of growth spiritually, those times coincide with the need for more sleep. Same with a space of solitude. Again, using the metaphor of an extreme athlete preparing for the Olympics, okay? Something like this. There's a time of extreme clarity, of getting clear with where you're going, which is the time of solitude, okay? Having more time alone to process this energy, which is also a time of meditation, internal centering, a sense of self. What am I doing? Where am I going? Centering back into that, coming back into that place, because these swings will have a sense of like, what the heck? What's going on? So coming back into more, having more time in a space of solitude, meditation, is incredibly important during those times of extreme spiritual experience or extreme purging, extreme growth, that type of thing. I would also say more time in nature. Okay, more time balancing a sense of harmony with your surroundings, okay? So less stimuli that is synthetic and more stimuli that is natural, okay? So that would be like being out in nature, being in the water, being walking barefoot, connecting, like sitting in the grass, getting as connected as you can, putting your ear on the ground, laying down as if you're laying out in the sunshine, listening to the earth, the heartbeat of the earth, the breath of the earth, having a sense of deep connection. Again, when you're going through extremes, the balance will need to be or feel extreme, be in nature in a more extreme way. Now, I don't mean like every day you need to be out in nature for 12 hours. There needs to be a sense of equilibrium, and so you'll know when you feel at rest, at peace, balanced. I would also say, as simple as it sounds, slowing down during these times, and I mean in a physical way, like making yourself move slower, telling yourself like, slow down, slow down, slow down. When the energy feels extreme, to slow your own pace, your own languaging, speaking slower, taking time to think about something before you react, you speak out, you do, you move. I physically mean walking slower, driving slower. Make a conscious effort to slow your pace, okay, of life flow energy, slowing the current. And it just takes conscious, deliberate effort to move slow. I'm doing it right now as an example. It's a very effective way to move yourself into a more observer perspective that is less engaging, less involved in the energy with which is swinging you. Another suggestion I would make is that if you are a channeler, a journaler, if you are someone that writes in order to process and express energy, that during these times of extreme swings energetically, when they're felt, I would move into a time to make sure that your expression is equally calibrated to that energy. So I would move into a time that had more opportunity to channel, sitting and journaling a little longer, giving a sense of appropriate expression to that energy as well. So again, it's not in the head, it's not in the body of feeling it manically. You have a channeled space to move that energy out of the body onto the paper, okay? And I would just write essentially what you're feeling, or write out the energy with which is coming through. You may channel directly from source. There may be a sense of just personal expression. Whatever it may be, if you feel like writing is a form of expression for you that has a sensation of clearing, purging, there's a releasing of that energy that happens when we move the energy onto paper. It pulls it from the body, from the mind, from the head, from the auric field out onto the paper that's absorbed. Okay, and I have that video on the power of writing and just moving it into a tree energy, which is an absorbent energy, an earth-based energy. And it has that power. The final thing that I will say about these energy swings that we're experiencing and how to navigate them in terms of advice. Sorry while I itch my nose. I have the fan on and it's blowing these little hairs. The final thing that I will say is to remind you that you have a sense of choice as to what you're going to give matter to. What is going to matter to you? And I've been using this analogy. It's felt so relevant lately. It's come up with particular clients and particular channelings and questions recently, that when something comes up, okay, when you're in an experience or someone's saying something or sharing, you in that moment have the ability to decide if this matters to you, or the weight at which it's going to be absorbed. And by matter, I physically mean like the molecular structure of it, the weight, the density of that event, the density of those words coming to you, the density of this situation or the person. You have the ability to decide what matter will be to you, what level of weight that will carry for you. Okay? So in those times of swing, don't forget there is a choice of alignment that you get complete sovereignty over, to say this matters little or this matters a lot. This holds that density, that weight of the matter. This is a big deal. This is a big clearing. This is something important and profound in my life, or not. And it can become small, of no matter, literally having no weight, like air, just gone. You have that choice. Even as an empath, even as someone who experiences a lot of energy exchange from the world around you, from the non-physical experience around you, you have the choice to decide what will hold a particular amount of matter, what will matter to you. Even afterwards, moving back to your space, saying, I've decided this holds no matter for me. This does not matter to me. And letting that energy fall from the body, just like a waterfall, just like a shower, just having it fall from you. It has no weight. Or like a breeze, having it just brush over you. No sense of matter. You have that choice. I love you guys. I hope that was helpful.